Okay, so if you made your for loop, you'll probably want to save that as for loop, and hit save, right? I don't need to save it. I got plenty of programs. Now, of course, I showed you how to use the count variable that you create for the for loop, and you're incrementing it by one each time there. For the x value, I could also let me cut that out of there and replace that with the 200 this way and do it that way there. Okay, so now that same equation works in the y value, right? Undo, undo, undo. Okay, so there, 200, of course, being the center of the screen in Y. I've hard-coded that in. If I put that 0, I'd have a bunch of objects across the screen there. And, of course, if I put it at like 350, not 3500, 350 would be, 50 pixels from the bottom of the screen. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let me go back to not 3500, but 200. There we go. By going undo, undo, undo. Great. Now, okay, I have my points going in this direction. Okay, let me show you another cool trick where I'm going to make another for loop now, now this time my count is going to represent something else. Currently it is representing the y value. I'm going to pencil that in here. Y, 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 because I told you to, okay? Just that's all, okay? Don't, So here I'm going to say with my for loop, copy that bit of code there and paste it, but now I can't use y, what anymore, because the computer might get confused as to which y it's supposed to be using. So here, or if I was using I, I would have to use j, but here I'm using it going to be using it for the x value. Okay, so I'm going to go put in x here, x here, x here, okay, and then down here, I just need to close up the curly bracket, okay, and now this part I'm just going to copy over to here, and everything goes diagonal on me, right? Why? Because they're sharing the same value. I haven't implemented this yet. So of course this is the x value up here. I'm going to replace that part with the x, and there is my nested for loop. Bring that up a little bit there. Okay, and we will call that a nested for loop. And one more thing. Let's keep this there. So the first loop is inside whatever number of times, another thing here, I could, say the distance between these, so, maybe var tile, var tile width equals 40, so how the distance between how far to tile across, so tile width, replace that there, much neater, right? Here, reoccurring variables should be, that was to tell me the margin, how far from the edge, so var, not car, var margin equals 10. No, I'm sorry, 20. 20. There we go. And let's use our margin here, 20, 20. There. So much neater. So if I didn't want it that whatever distance, I can change that, there it's changing both simultaneously, so we could also, say left margin, not in this case, because I'm using top. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, not left. Yeah, left for the X, correct. Left margin 20. Let's do that. Copy that for the X plus X margin, left margin, right? And the top margin can be different this way. We'll say top margin, maybe 10, like that. Copy that here, there. See, so now I can position my loop wherever I want. So let me just, for the moment, bring my tile width down to a smaller value, like 20. See, stroke weight, bring that down a little bit, like that. Okay, so now I can change my margins accordingly, to have a number of tiled objects wherever I want them on the screen, by setting those margins there. Okay, so that's nested for loops.